I'm Myochi.
And I am Renee, and we would like to welcome you to the 40 spot where we discuss everything about being 40s, the highs and the lows, and everything actually in between. And while you're here, if you're a repeat listener, a fan, we're glad that you have tuned in again. If you are new, thank you for tuning in. We hope that you enjoy this show. You can always catch all of our previous shows anywhere where you get your Spotify. On Spotify, but anywhere you get your podcast. So like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the
Yeah.
notification bell on YouTube so that you will know when we're going live on YouTube. Tell everyone, your coworkers, your friends, your family, everyone. And again, thank you and welcome to the 40 spot.
Yes, and on today's episode, we are celebrating mothers and the many hats that they wear and the balancing of motherhood and entrepreneurship with our guest, Erika Freeman, who is a realtor and mompreneur. But first, we're going to get into our While We're Out segment. And this is where we discuss news, entertainment, and personal experiences that have occurred since our last show. So, first on the docket, what is it, Miss Renee?
Yes. Something that I am in support of. There's a new Tennessee law that says if you have a DUI and you kill someone in a car accident that is a parent to a child that is 18 years old or under, you will have to pay child support for that child.
Oh, wow.
And if you end up going to jail, because the charge would be vehicular homicide, you have 1 year to start paying child support for that child or those children. And it's not based off of what you pay. I mean, you make it is going to be based off of that parent's contribution to that child. So if you mess around and you driving under the influence and you kill a lawyer's child, honey, you just bringing home a check stub because all your money is going to be shifted over there to them.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey, I like it. I agree with it too. I
I,
mean,
oh, absolutely.
you're taking out away a parent who's going to be the provider for a child, and it doesn't matter if there's another parent involved. Well, this child had two parents, so
Hmm.
you are responsible, and we have to be responsible drivers. That's just the bottom line. I wonder
Absolutely.
how long. Like, is it until they're 18, or is it
Yes.
like okay? So
Until they're 18, not like if they go like typical child support, if the child goes to college and stuff like that. It's not to that. It's still up until they are 18 years old.
okay,
They are not taking in consideration of what you make. They're not taking in consideration, do you have other children and that you're paying for them? Because the way that it's reading is that you have taken a vital person who would be doing the upbringing, the rearing. That part can't be done by them. So they're not expecting you, if you kill a parent, you
then you can come
definitely
take care of the child.
you guess what, you definitely not going to be rearing those
Right.
children, but you will have to have some financial support with them. And being in Tennessee, especially deep south or red state, a lot of times they can lag in some things. But I think this is one thing that they definitely has gotten right. And I hope that all 50 states and US territories follow suit quickly.
I do
Quickly.
too. And I think if this is successful, it will catch on pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the organization Mothers Against Drunk Drivers,
Mhm.
MAD, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of other support groups and large interest groups and stuff that are towards, people who have lost people or been, disfigured, or, their quality of life has definitely went down since they had started, you know, doing, you know, started. Oh, I got a little brain for it. Yeah, this 40 years old, honey, get you. Um, I think with that, and then their lobby, once they get hold to this, they definitely going to
Mm.
push that narrative and try to get all 50 states to get on board. If not, they're definitely going to try to make it not just to be a state law, that it is going to be a federal law. So if they get that, it ain't gonna matter.
And I wonder if it'll expand beyond death, because if you have a parent who no longer is able to work, you
Ooh,
know,
that's good.
that's
Never
still
thought about that.
a financial burden. And it's a parent who, maybe it's a parent who is paralyzed from the neck down. So the caring that they would do for their child, yes, they can be there emotionally, but the physical being there and being
Mhm.
able to do things that they now can't do. So I mean, I know everything is just one step at a time, but I wonder if that would grow a little bit bigger.
Oh, I'm pretty sure because, with any law, they end up getting lots of amendments. And then, as you said, even though you may have some people that are physically disabled, but then their mind is there, but then you have some people where they're physically fine, but they've had these traumatic brain injuries where they no longer can function normally.
Right.
And to be able to contribute. And as we all know, getting disability checks and stuff like that once a month, that's going to put a financial strain on a person because everybody don't get the same amount because it's based off of what you was making. But definitely what you could have been making has drastically decreased
And
because
also, when
of
you go
this.
and you think about with child
Oh
support
yeah.
comes from the money comes from the government, and the same thing with disability. And so they would prefer to get it from a able-bodied parent or someone
Yes.
responsible. So I definitely can see this expanding much further out.
Oh, absolutely. And also, just thinking of everything about it in terms of that, I know at least as far back as I can remember, um, it was always against the law
Hmm.
to be under the influence driving because a lot of people think it's just drunk drivers. It's not just drunk drivers. If you are under the influence, even if you're under prescription medication, but
Right.
if they put it in there, do not operate a car or heavy machinery and stuff like that, you are liable because whether you read it or not, the information was given to you.
So is this
Um,
specific to drunk drivers, or this is
no, it's just
for?
DUI, driving under influence,
Okay.
and that's under the influence. It covers all
Yeah.
of those type of things, and um, now you really can't say, oh well, I did not know, because like I said, as far back as I can remember, driving under influence was against the law. So anybody who gets under the wheel of the car and they're driving under influence, it's a poor choice, but guess what, it's a choice.
It is
And
a choice, and at the end of the day, I know people don't, go out and say, "I'm going to drive and kill someone," but there are consequences to making those decisions. With a non-sober mind, most times you're making that decision, and you're not sober, so you just have to be responsible in drinking and smoking weed and taking your medication. If you know you need to go and do something, you need to run to Walmart. Wait till you come back. I mean this should not be the thing that makes people do what's best for the community, but maybe it will, because do you want to be paying child support? But speaking of paying a lot of money, honey,
all right,
Elon Musk then paid $44 billion
with the me.
with a big old B, not $1 million, $1 billion.
Yes.
$44 billion. How many people are there in the world? Because I feel like he gave us all a cool million
I
dollars.
think it's about like 7.8 billion people. So someone had did that
Seven
math.
point eight billion people. So he gave more money to
Yeah, they was like, you could
everybody.
almost give everybody
If
$5
he
billion.
really wanted to solve world hunger, he could have, huh?
Well, this was the thing. Someone had posted like about the world, like, oh, it costs X amount of money and it will solve the world's hunger problems.
Who?
And
Who?
he
Who did it? The World Health
it was some
Organization.
type of like government agency or
That's what I'm saying.
something like.
World Health Organization posted that, and he said
Yes.
he was going to give them the money
if they could prove it. They
Right.
could not prove it because it's one thing like, okay, well, we can give everybody a meal. Maybe we can feed everybody for 1 month, but can you actually end world hunger? And when you think about it, because a lot of places it is so political because you have certain governments and stuff, they starve their people out and stuff like that. So you can't just throw money
He
at
could have
every.
tried. He could have tried. He threw money at Twitter. I'm just saying, Twitter. You threw money at Twitter. You could have definitely threw money at trying to solve world hunger.
What, you know what?
Like I do. Nobody's stopping me from getting a billion. Okay.
This is true, but um and I grant I haven't followed Elon Musk, for the course of his career. I think I followed him more once I got into cryptocurrency and stuff to really see what is his plight, for the world in itself. And I think his stuff is more with IT and those type of different things. But there is a good thing about what he's doing, because he tweeted out earlier today or sometime within like the last day and a half about Twitter is still like not the number one source of like social media site. It's another one, and it's because it's privatized, and then they do not censor people for freedom of speech. So to be honest with you, us as being black, I think it is good, because you remember last summer or maybe 2 summers ago when like you put hashtag black or BLM and some of those social media sites, like it wouldn't let you do it. So I think
But that
I don't
also
think it's
means, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't think it's all that bad.
You know, yes, for one thing, but that's things that I believe in, right? But there's other
Yes,
things I don't believe in that shouldn't be. Freedom of speech does not mean you get to say whatever you want to whomever you want. I don't believe
this
that.
is true. This
And
is true.
if that's your goal, all the other stuff is going to get mixed up in it. All the stuff that, people should have a muzzle on them. People,
Yes.
because people use social media to galvanize in good ways and bad ways, to radicalize people, whatever side you on. And so it's just interesting for
Yes.
it to be billion.
Yetta said in the comments that I don't understand why people think if you become a billionaire or a millionaire, you should do something about homelessness or world hunger. I'm just trying to understand, which I do understand that. She said, I need to hit him up for some shit land. I understand that too, because these billionaires, they are buying up property just like China is buying up property everywhere, because that is one resource that there's you're not getting any more of as
Mm-hmm.
far as land. But I will say that, sometimes people, they make their money, and if you look at what he's always done, it's been tech. Like he's he's a philanthropist in some right, but not, you know, everywhere. But it's like, okay, y'all press Bill Gates, and Bill Gates now um he's over something else. But then when you look at some of the projects and stuff that they're funding, him and Melinda Gates, it's like, I don't know if I really want these billionaires doing some of this stuff that they're doing.
Well, I'll say
So
why I don't feel all billionaires are responsible for homelessness.
true.
I feel like government needs to get out a lot of things, because that's a lot of times what has stopped a lot of people from growing. But that is a topic for another
Yes.
thing. I think specifically Elon Musk, why I say that is because for you to say that you want to pay for this, right? So if you say you are willing to prove it, if they prove that you will pay, then that means you want to do something about it. So that's why I'm like, well, I wish you would have tried,
Well,
because
yeah, and that's
he
why I
ended
said
that
that I think
conversation of feeding the homeless. You know what I mean?
it's
He ended
so
that.
it's so political and stuff like that. But I do know that there are a lot of people who do have money. They do stuff in secret where people, you know, they writing checks, and they're not always out, because when you think about it,
Right.
every celebrity, they out during Thanksgiving and Christmas doing all this other kind of stuff. But it's like, guess what? People need stuff throughout the whole year. And I think some people, they do stuff and they give
Yeah.
anonymously and
And I
stuff
mean,
like
he
that.
may well be in his right of being a philanthropist. He may
Yes.
be that person. But again, and I think for people who have said something about him feeding the hungry, it really points back to that thing. I don't know if it was early in the year, early the end of last year, where that happened, where he's like, "Oh, well, if you could prove it right, I'll help." And so it's
Yes.
kind of like, how much proof do you need when you want to just buy Twitter for 44 billion? It's his choice. Now, unless he was gonna come directly to my house, I probably wouldn't even send a cent of the money he gave to the government to give to me. That is
Right.
what's real. But that's what I'm like, you could have tried. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Why not just send money to all the addresses and all the one nobody lived at? It'd be like, return the sender.
But on another note, because we as being Black people of the African diaspora, there's been a lot of oppression, but thanks be HBCUs, for those who do not
Yes.
know, historically Black colleges and universities, they have been killing it
Hello, for the
lately.
last 2
Black
weeks, there's
Star
some good stuff
Power.
going on.
Just this is a great time to be Black, and if you are a alumni, you have family members, whatever, like, guess what? This is everybody. This is everybody, whether you graduated, you went to a homecoming somewhere or whatever like that. Even if you follow someone's page, this is the time. HBCUs, we are killing it. We're going to start off with Spelman College gets a new president, Dr. Helena Gale. She's replacing Mary Schmitz Campbell, who is planning to retire at the end of June. So we definitely know that she's stepping into big school, big shoes to fill, because Spelman is in Atlanta. For those who do not know, it's an all-female college, HBCU, and that's the number one HBCU in the country right now. So we just wish her the best for her tenure that's there, and that she just continue to do the best for the ladies there at Spelman College.
That is so awesome. And I just love how, HBCUs are getting more attention and
Mhm.
representation. We know about them because we went to HBCUs, and a lot of Black people know about HBCUs. But the fact that they're getting more attention, I think that draws in, because although we know about them, every Black person don't know about HBCUs. Every
No.
Black person doesn't know how many people who they see on television have gone to HBCUs. And so I think it's just amazing all the attention they're getting. Like, even with Spelman and Morehouse, they were just they did that ad with Polo, you know,
Yes,
looking
which
looking like looking looking rich.
classic,
Yes,
very very classic.
exactly.
And if anybody get a chance, please, go over there to Ralph Lauren Polo website, so that you can see the spread, the ad. Like, it was their own location.
Yeah.
They use all sorts of type of people, so it wasn't just like, oh, we just want all these light skinned,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Or just dark people. Like,
ambiguous
it was
looking
just
people.
like
No,
they
they
are.
had locks, they had froze, they had it all. So the representation was not just, oh, this is Black people. Like, you seen yourself with this wasn't all just the little skinny people. The guys looked good, and it was a good photo shoot. The clothes and stuff were great. And if anybody familiar with the brand, you know Ralph Lauren, he makes good quality products that
Yeah.
will last. So I was very very happy for that. And also, they did a campaign for Juneteenth as well. They were selling stuff in their stores, and then that money was going to HBCUs. So I can definitely say that billionaire
Okay.
is giving back. Black.
And
He, he's,
black.
he's
Right.
giving
I
some
love
of his
that.
dollars. He's
Um,
giving some of his dollars.
and if I'm remembering correctly, because I could be wrong about this, I think it was said that they will be actually doing campaigns with other HBCUs. So this
I
is the
want to
first
say
of many.
yes, which is great,
Yeah.
because people don't know. People just know, like, the big HBCUs. They'll know Morehouse. They'll know Spelman. They'll know Howard. FAMU. You know, some of
Xavier.
those, Xavier, like the top 10, 12. But a lot of times, some people do not know some HBCUs are very small,
Right.
such as like yourself, Fisk University, which is, an elite. It's an Ivy
I
League
would say, although
HBCU.
we're small in mighty. but a lot of
Right.
people don't know about this.
Yes, because I remember when I came up here, my sister, she's an alumni of FIS, and the basketball team played Clark Atlanta. So we're down there at Clark, and then it was so many people was like, oh, where is FIS? I've never heard of that. And it was just like, oh, it's in Nashville. Then it was like, how close is it to Meharry, or how close is it to Tennessee State? And it's like, it's literally right across the street from Meharry, and it's like just a couple of streets down from Tennessee State. But it was good that it was so many people that was there that wasn't aware, but then now they knew, but they knew Meharry, they knew
Yeah.
Tennessee State, but they didn't know FIS. So, the more things that these HBCUs are doing, and they're on a big stage, it's just going to be great. It's just
Yeah.
going to be great. I'm excited for it.
Yes. And speaking of HBCUs, well, we have a couple of things for HBCUs, okay, which we are
Yes.
very excited to talk about. But the next one is Xavier University became the first HBCU to win the 2022 NAIA National Championship. This is a cheer championship, the first. And how exciting is that for them? Again, representation, doing their thing.
Yeah.
That is, it's amazing. It's amazing. Great things are happening.
Yes, I was excited because from junior high throughout high school, I cheerleaded. So I still always gonna have a passion for that. I still watch
Mm-hmm.
cheer competitions, high school and collegiate on television if I can catch it.
Really?
So yes, girl, I am a cheerleader at heart. One of my cousins, she used to run track and cheerlead. She was like our older cousin, and it was just like, hey, I want to be like you when I grow up. So shout out to my cousin Teresa. So that was like, I wanted to cheerlead so bad, and I like that. But then when you look, like if you get a chance, you can always go like on YouTube to see their routine. Their
Mm-hmm.
routine, it was out of this world. It was just kind of like, wait a minute, I need to watch it again, because they had
So
so
many
much of
moving
stuff.
parts.
I mean, the athletic ability and stuff. And I guess it was like their their coach,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess the captain and maybe co-captain, they did an interview on the Roland Martins Unfiltered on YouTube, where they changed the rules so many times to try to disqualify them, to get them out
That's
and
so
stuff. And
wild to
then,
me.
and speaking of, because like sometimes you be in school and it's just like, Lord, this was hard. I hope this teacher grade on a curve. They still was kind of like, quote unquote, graded on a curve to try to get these other schools,
Oh,
hoping and praying that they was going to, you know, be better than them. And it's just like, it was undeniable. I'm
mhm.
like, everybody, just like how you could do those little videos where like you can duplicate yourself and like everybody is like on the
Yeah.
same. That's how it was. Like it just gave me chill bumps. One, because it was like, this is the first time I'm seeing this. It's all of us here on this national stage, because a lot of times you don't see HBCUs.
Represented.
And
Yeah.
obviously they compete, but you
Yeah.
don't see them in those finals and stuff like that, or whatever they end up putting on the television. They don't highlight them and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So it was just like, it's amazing. It's amazing, which we already know that it's amazing. So this was the first HBCU ever.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? We done broke that glass ceiling. So
It
guess
won't
what?
be
Move over
good.
PWIs, because once we get in there, we shut it down. We take it over. I mean, look at any sport. And a lot of times the sports we created, but they took it over. But guess what? We taking it back.
Yeah.
So it was great. So and this will definitely get them to now the NAIA Competitive Cheer National Championship. So they won the NIA, just the intercollegiate.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? It's on to the next one. On to the next one. They go kill it, because everybody else now they looking at, oh my God, is this is what it is. and stuff, and is they not ready.
They're
They're
not
not ready.
ready.
They're not
Well, Xavier also have announced that they plan to open a medical school. So Xavier is doing all of the things.
Yes, yes, and I really applaud them for, and it's not just a medical school; it's going to be a health sciences school as well.
Mhm.
So people who want to do like master's degrees, PhDs, and other things. So you're going to see a lot of research and everything that comes out of that university, and this also give even more um, opportunity for us Black people to be at those higher levels of medicine and stuff, because since about 1995 there's been a decrease, a steep decrease in um, African Americans and Black people in general going into medicine. But I know firsthand how hard it is to get in. I don't think that there's been a decrease in people that's trying to get in. It's
Mhm.
just that, oh my God, it's just so layer to try to filter people out. Um,
Exactly. And
and
I was
I'll,
just going to say, they're probably face the same struggles that even like you talk about the teams, how they kept changing the rules. And so
yes,
when you're facing those struggles, you're not able to just study and to just come to show up and perform. You're facing everything else. And anyone who went to HBCU knows that is one of the bigger differences, that it's like I'm in school, and because this is a predominantly Black school, and we say predominantly because sometimes you'll have other people that have come to the school,
mhm,
but you know that it's not something that's designed for you to fail. Other schools, they do things designed for us to fail. Maybe not teachers, maybe not specific professors, but they change the rules.
the rules that are in there.
But they'll give certain students certain things, and other students they won't get the information. And that's one thing you don't have to worry about when you go to a HBCU. So having that, like you said, is not that less people have tried. It's just how many have tried and have been stopped. You know, time
Yeah.
after time. And it's crazy because when you hear conversations of people who have gone on to medical school and they talk about how horrible their grades was, people who are not Black who talk about how horrible their grades were, and how their parent talked to somebody, or they were able to take an exam more than once. It's amazing. Like, okay, let me just remember
Yes.
never to see you if I need to go to the hospital.
Exactly. But I definitely think that it's great of what they're doing, and as we already said, that whatever they have did to be able to get that charter, because I'm pretty sure this may have been something that they have been trying to do for, it could be 20 to 30 years,
Hmm.
before they was actually able from the United States to be able to get this charter to be able to start the school and everything, so that you can put out more Black doctors,
Right.
because that's what we need, because you have Howard University, Morehouse School of Medicine, and Meharry. Those are the only three HBCU medical schools. So this will be the fourth, and there are other larger schools that I think, who knows, they could be trying to do the same, but once you get that ceiling broke, because right now there is a shortage of doctors,
Right.
and
For
maybe
sure.
yes, and maybe it took that. Guess what? The average doctor is those last people in the baby boomers, and they're getting ready to retire. My mother is one of the last baby boomers. So she's 64 years old. So those people that's in their 60s and onward, those are part of the baby boomers. They're getting ready to retire. And
Yep.
a lot of those physicians, they're not seeing patients so much. They're doing more administrative. They already done put in their work. They do. So you got to have something
Right.
somewhere, and for people to do so. I definitely think this is great. I know that it's going to take them to build a school and stuff, but I hope that they have a wait list. If not, they won't be the traditional, oh, we're just going to take one class per year, the fall class. No, do like some of the Caribbean, they have 3 classes, they have 2 classes, and then they put out more physicians than some of these other you know, PWI medical school. So it's great. And speaking of this, we go a little bit. Still in there. Now we go back to Atlanta. Morris Brown College gets full accreditation after almost 20 years. So the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, they have reinstated their full accreditation, which is absolutely amazing. It is great for the students, for people who are, always wanted to go there, but they couldn't go there because it wasn't an accredited school, because they know for what they wanted to do later on, whether it's graduate school or some other, type of terminal degree, they wasn't able to attend there because it wasn't accredited. So I am very, very happy for the staff and the students there, to the alumni that's there, and I'm just looking for great things to come from out of there.
What's crazy is, this is the 40 spot. We're in our 40s. And when
No.
I know, girl. But when I first read it, it was like, 20 years, right? And I was like, but I remember when it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember, because I was in college, and I remember, some more Morris Brown students coming over to Fisk. So it's interesting that we were actually able to see that transition, and I'm very happy for them. I'm happy for those who actually stayed on, because I believe some finished out some programs, because I think they had some of their accreditation. They just didn't have full accreditation. I am not sure of all those details, but it is an amazing thing. And how much greater is it for us to have, this opportunity now, especially with HBCUs getting the attention that they so deserve after all this time.
Yes. So and I'm pretty sure it definitely came with a huge change of leadership, because I remember when that was happening as well, because it was big news. It was huge news. And I remember a girl from my hometown, her plans was to go there, and then she was like, I can't go there now. And she ended up going somewhere else, but her heart was set on that. But this is why they end up getting their accreditation pool, because of the school's ballooning debt. And the president and financial aid director, they were put on probation after pleading guilty to embezzlement charges. So you can't get the wrong people in there and everything. But even just talking about just the ballooning debt, we know that HBCUs, whether it's public or private, they don't get the funding as PWIs do, um, at all. And then a lot of times, yes, you do have alumni that comes out of there, but a lot of people, you have probably 90% of the student population, they do have student loan debt. Biden, Camilla, I'm gonna need y'all to come to the front of the congregation, because y'all ain't did right what y'all said y'all was gonna do. So, and then sometimes as Black people, as we get into the corporate world, because it is true that there's huge wealth gaps, and it goes back to what we're making. So sometimes you're not making the money that you could be making as your white counterparts, to be able to give back
Right.
like you want to do. Because I, like everybody else, when I was in school, it was just like, man, I hate the school. But now, don't you say nothing bad about Tennessee State. Like once you get over there, over that hump, it's just like whole love.
Yes.
It become family. Like, nah, you would not be. No, you will not. You would not be talking crazy about my school
Exactly.
or
And I
whatever.
think this points to, I'm glad you brought up that point about what happened to them, because that points to the importance of us giving back. And it really doesn't matter how much, of course, the more you can, the better. But if you can do $25 a month,
Yes.
$10, whatever you can do that, because the school needs it. And I know a lot of times we feel like I gave them a lot of money. Okay, gave them a whole lot of money, but especially some private schools, so you only got a certain amount of money from the state, and then you had to come out with other things. But it's important, especially if you know your school is doing great things with the students. we all have different experiences, but we need to do our part to keep our schools alive.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we are now going to transition to our topic for the
Oh,
day.
one
Yes.
more thing. Since I had said something about Biden and Camilla Harris, our
Oh.
VP, she's going to be the commencement speaker May the 7th for Tennessee State University, and I will be there trying to give her a little memo. I'm gonna need you to cancel the student loan debt, sister girl.
Are you gonna have it on a post-it note?
Yes, and on a shirt.
And
And
on
I'm
the shirt. I
and I'm
like
sending a
that.
card
I like
and an
that.
email.
It's a
So
great
it's just
idea.
like, look, I'm gonna be at the door, like, look, hey, I need to be part of the ushers. Like, I need to write it on there or put the sticky note on everybody. Just like, okay, y'all look down here and at the 1, 2, 3, cancel student loan debt. Guess
Now,
what?
like
If
put that on
every
there. We don't need it. Don't do it in 20 years, love. I need this now.
Yes, NII now, right now. Like, guess what? If we all band together and make it hard for her to leave up out of here, guess what? We all might be debt free, and guess what? Everybody doing a lap around the around the track. It's like,
Listen,
thank
I
you,
won't be
Jesus.
there, but I'll do it. I'll do a shout. I'll do
Hello.
a shout right over here.
Thank you. So that's the other thing. So it'll be good. And I'm pretty sure they'll probably have the commencement. Typically they have it live on the website of the school, and then they have, since she's of that notoriety, I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
you probably find it in other places on the web of what she has to say, and which I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
And yet I said right now on an orange sticky note,
Hello.
absolutely pink. But guess what? Pink and green, since she's an AKA. Guess what? Maybe she was like, ew,
Whatever color gets it
this
done
must be
at this
sorority
point.
biscuit. The people that you online that was your sorrow, they may still be paying. you know.
Listen, because Stacey Abrams talked about how much she's still paying. She's still old. So if she's
See,
still old, I don't feel bad, honey. And I
I really don't. I don't. Guess what? We all in this debt ship.
yes, we are. And so kind of just going into our next subject, our topic for tonight, which we called Dear Mama. And it's because when we Mother's Day is coming up next week. And like when we're just talking about Mother's Day, we get to talking about our moms and all the things they've done and all the many hats they wear. And it's like, oh my God. oh my God, and like so Tupac's song Dear Mama is like, you are appreciated for everything you've done. And the reality is the things we don't know you did. So and I know Renee knows all about that because she is a mom. And there's stuff
Yeah.
that her child can't even compute the amount of things she's done and sacrificed for them, and like one of the things that we talked about is like the many hats of being a mom. I had a little list of that, but I think Renee, you could probably add on something because like I wrote down a taxi cab driver,
Yeah.
cook, maid, a butler, a nurse, a lawyer. These are things my mom was to me a lot of times. She was definitely my counselor.
Yes.
What other things you would list your mom as being like
The mom banking trust.
the
That's number
love
one.
interest?
and and if you have siblings, sometimes your mother is the referee.
Very true.
She's a judge, juror, and executioner. She definitely could be a short order cook. They definitely they're teachers and stuff
Yes.
like that. For next
Yes. I didn't
advocate,
like my mama to tutor me per se. I didn't like it, but she definitely I can remember the night we do it.
because they be so hard on you. They
They
be so
do.
hard
There's only one right answer in math. But that's
right.
not true because now they be telling you all the other stuff they have answers to, in math.
Exactly. And then, Lord forbid, you get it wrong because then say, see, I know you was in that class not paying attention because if so, you would have this question. It's just like,
Exactly.
it was hard. I was paying attention. I know you. I know you.
Finesse
That
said
was
advocate. Very true. Advocate. I
yes.
I know one thing with my mom. Like she definitely was the person who she would tell me, don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you like, so if we're in a grocery store and I ask, what about this? She's like, ask this person. And don't worry, I'll be standing right here. And so she always was my advocate. I always knew that she was right there just in case somebody talked to me crazy. And now I can talk to anybody. I don't care. I might be nervous, but I'm going to ask my question. I'm going to say my say. Fernette, oh Lord, Fernette even says security guard, your bodyguard. That is very true. You run to her.
Thank you. Thank you. She is your squad. A squad of one, as I say.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't need 12 people. Whatever you got that one good one. That is she's definitely, your ride or die.
Yeah.
Definitely your ride or die. And she's your critic. I know, at least with my mother. And I don't know if my sister is on here or not. But oh my God. Coloring, this is why I hate coloring books. I really did not buy coloring books and stuff like that for my son. And if he did, I'm just like, don't show them to your grandmama.
You
Because,
traumatized?
man, let me tell you. So, you got a little coloring book. One, if you went outside the line, she was just go tell you, it's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was just like my mother, she definitely prepared me and my sister for the world with just like she did not sugarcoat nothing. And some of my cousins, they in the chat too, they know they ain't cooking, did not sugarcoat jack diddly squat. If it was not something that was cooked with sugar, it did not come from out of her. But so then you get to the point where it's like, okay, I colored in the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I colored the street and I colored the leaves purple. She gonna say, when you seen a tree with purple leaves?
Imagination.
You can't win for losing. Let me tell you, she was not finna have you sitting out here delusional and stuff like, well, a tree can be purple. No, it cannot.
You can't have purple flowers?
You can have purple flowers, you can have blue flowers, because those are things that we actually see and stuff. But you color something that she didn't. No. And let me tell you this: you would color something and it's dark on one side and then it's lighter at the end. What you was doing? What you was
Your
doing?
hand
It
got
was just,
tired, especially if it's dark on. Yeah, your hand probably got tired and you ran out.
this not even for school. This is just supposed to be for enjoyment and stuff like that. It's just like, you know what? It is true. Once a child, you put away them childish things. It's like, hurry up and grow up because I ain't coloring nothing.
So
Nothing.
What would you say your number one hat is that you wear?
Oh, probably now like Uber Eats slash Instacart.
Okay.
That's what I am right now. Because I had to make a Walmart run. I get in there. And it's just like, like I'm far enough away from the house. I'm not going to turn around. And it kind of like, mama. And I can't hear. And I was like, Corey, what do you want? What's going on? Can you pick up me some hot chips? What? Hot chips? The Cheetos, the jalapeno ones. I see that's I ain't finna ride with you.
Instacart. I feel you.
So it's just like Uber Eats / Instacart, like all three of them, because most people, they drive, do the ride share, they do all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the number one right now.
Well, now we are going to bring up Miss Erika Freeman, who wears many hats. Not only is she a mom I'm sure she is a driver, a nurse. She's a realtor. She's a mompreneur. So, Miss Erika Freeman, unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
This is
Erika.
my friend and fellow Fiskite, HBCU alum. So HBCU in the house, we represent tonight. And we were just talking about the many hats that moms wear. And so my question to you, just getting started, what would you think your number one hat would be?
Number one, definitely bank, money, advocate, big advocate. And I think those are probably my main two. Those are
Mm-hmm.
my big two right now, I feel like.
Definitely the mom banking trust.
Mind banking.
Yeah.
What do you think? And this is for both of y'all, like, because your kids are a little bit older now. When they were younger, what would you say the hat you wore the most?
Probably a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to teach them
Yeah.
um stuff for school, but why this is why we don't do this, or why do we do this, whether it's in the house, at school, somewhere else. So it was definitely like just teaching,
Mm-hmm.
just constantly teaching.
Yeah. I would agree. Or like a guide.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with your head, so you're on today to talk about motherhood and balancing, being a entrepreneur as they are have they coined mom. I can't get this word right, y'all. Mompreneur. If I'm saying it wrong, please, forgive me. But I just had some statistics that I found out about this, and it says of the women-owned businesses, it's estimated that 1 in 3 is owned by moms. And that actually translates to about 4 million businesses, which is amazing when you think about it. Like, moms are out here really doing their thing. Of that, 57% of the moms that were surveyed are, well, they're older, they're 40 and older. So that's interesting. That is very interesting. I'm wondering, for you, is that because you get older, it's like, you know what, I want to do something. You've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, or um, it was just something that you saw that you liked, and then you said, I'm going to go after it.
Yeah. I don't think I didn't grow up saying I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just went on the regular path. Like I went to college and then thought I would get a great job. And it's been like when maybe a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I wanted to take another path, a different path.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do something. I wanted to build something like on my own and for my
Yeah.
family and stuff. And I felt like what I wanted to do and the things I wanted to have, and like I needed to build something on my own because I wouldn't be able to do that like working for, because they wouldn't pay me. They would never pay me my worth and all of that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the reality is, and it's not knocking a 9 to 5, because I have a 9 to 5, and I
right,
have
yeah,
this check every 2 weeks. However,
exactly.
the
Yeah, absolutely.
reality is, their goal is not for you for your family success. Their
Yeah,
goal is for their family success, and they pay you for a day wages, but that's it. They aren't
yeah.
thinking about your future, and so I definitely understand what you're
Yeah.
saying.
And I
Um,
didn't initially, I wasn't a full time entrepreneur right off the bat. I still worked my full time job,
yeah,
like while trying to build. And even now I'm still building, but I
yeah,
still work my full time job for like years while trying
okay,
to build my real estate.
yeah,
Yes.
Yes, and you are part of this great movement of Black women, because Harvard Business Review found that 17% of Black women were in the process of starting or running new businesses, compared to 10% of white women and 15% of white men. So we're coming out of that, and we're just, of course, we are creators. So we're
natural.
definitely creating our own path, and it's great. And that just lets you know, a lot of us, we're doing it. And even with Myochi and I, although we do this podcast, you know prayerfully, it's going to take off, and this is going to be one of the businesses.
Exactly.
Right.
That is the hope. That is
Yeah.
definitely the
That's
hope.
the vision.
That is the,
Yes.
you
And
know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll go ahead. I was just gonna say, and for me, like I'm someone, I'm always looking for like freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so trying to build my own business and stuff, I feel like provides more freedom. Freedom like with my schedule, like there's no cap on my salary, and the money I can make is based on like how much work I put in.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm always just searching for more freedom in all
Yeah.
areas of life. Yeah.
Okay.
And
um
that survey that I read, it said that 30, I'm sorry, 3/4 of the entrepreneurs or mompreneurs are actually the primary caregivers. And, my question is how? Like, how do you balance that? And I think you maybe kind of spoke on it when you first said, like, you kind of didn't go, full steam ahead in the beginning. But how do you balance, being able to put in the work that needs to be put in and putting in the work, for your kid?
That's actually one reason why I left. I ended up leaving my full-time job last year
Okay.
because I couldn't balance it, and I wasn't able to put hardly any energy into my building my real estate business because I would be tired from everything else I was doing. And so I had made the decision. I had came to a point where I was like, okay, I either need to quit the real estate or give it up because it's a lot of money to be a realtor and to keep your license, or I need to go all in because I couldn't do it all. It was overwhelming. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put the energy into my business as well. So I guess it's just the way I am. I either got to be all in or I can't just give a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's one reason because I wasn't able to balance it all
Mm-hmm.
too much. So and then with Jada's always first. So whatever comes after, I balance her first, and
Right.
then she's a priority, and whatever comes after that, I don't know, it just falls in line. I don't feel like I'm ever. I don't think it's ever really. I feel like I'm ever really balanced though. I just do whatever I have to do.
And I guess that makes sense because balance, it implies a 50-50.
Yeah.
Like you said, Jada comes first. But I think, it sounds like you have been able to figure out what works for you. And so with Jada being 70% or 60%, and then your business being the 30 or 40, you've been able to balance in the sense of figuring out what works for you. I think that's pretty commendable.
And what I liked about doing real estate is that Jada's old enough too, where she was, she does stuff with me. Like if I'm doing open houses, she's there with me. I'm going to view houses or do showings. She's there with me. Like she's helping me, get footage and stuff. Doing the tours, because she's old enough. So I think that helps with it too. Like she's old enough to, she's literally helping me to build my business.
Yeah, she's invested.
So I think that helps too. She's not younger, so she's able to help. So I think that helps me to, I don't know, because that's why I like it too. She's there, she's right there. I don't have to leave her, find, sitters and stuff like that. I think that's a little bit harder.
And that's probably why, going back to the statistic that 57% are 40 and older, because you would think in general, people, when you're in your 40s, your kids, if you've had kids younger, they are older. So you have, even if you don't have the time, when you make the decision to change some things up, they're a little bit more self-sufficient.
Right.
And so you don't have to give 90% of your time to them.
Yep.
You have to do literally everything for them. And what I think is great, something that you said, was that you realized you couldn't do what it is you wanted to do, as far as always doing things with Jada and, being able to give yourself over to your business. So it was like something has to give. And a lot of times we kill ourselves trying to do it all, but it's like, how do you have enough time? Have you slept? No. Have you eaten? No. You're just gonna pass out. We just passing out trying to crush dreams and goals, so to be able to recognize, that, you know what, I'm gonna have to switch some things up, and to go all in, that in spite of fear. And I know I say that, so I'm speaking for you, but I can only imagine, being like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna quit, and we're gonna see how this
goes. We'll see what it do.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think that it's good. Yetta, she's in the comment section. She is a mom entrepreneur and stuff. But she's been an entrepreneur since 2011. She's like, it's definitely not easy, but it's worth it. And I kind of remember when she kind of first started or whatever like that, not just we was talking all of the time, but I remember her she's my cousin coming to the house, and was just talking about things that she wanted to do with one of our aunts, and insurance and stuff like that. And a couple of years ago when I was living in Chicago, she's coming up there for a national convention, and she's sitting on the board and stuff like that. So it's
That's
great that you
awesome.
see all of this taking place, and that it's happening. Also, Forbes.com said that of female entrepreneurship, 42% is Black women and new businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a documentary talking about the new like elite. They're Black. And these are all people, they were like Black owned businesses, and they employ their own. And a lot of them, they still try to circulate their money within Black communities, trying to buy products and goods and services for their home or for themselves, even if it's for physicians and stuff like that. They definitely was trying to go to spend their Black dollars there. So it's great. And I have another cousin. She's not in her third. She just kind of just tipped over in her 30s, but she had did some other things, and now she's a realtor full time, and she has two kids. They kind of like preteens, but then she just had recently had a child, a little baby boy. But it gives her that flexibility, and like she's killing it. And obviously, looking at it, it was just like, we as Black women are more likely to start new businesses, and you still have those roles at home. You
Right.
still the mama, you still, for those that are married, you have your marital duties and all of that other kind of stuff. But we find the time and that we're doing it. And I think it's just like you said, is you want your time back.
Yeah. You see a lot of people. I think the first thing to remember, though, for entrepreneurs, specifically even mompreneurs, I don't want to eat that word up again, but specifically for mompreneurs, um, you know, you put a lot of time into your business. You probably spend more time with your business than you may have done for a 9 to 5, but
Yep.
having that freedom that if today something happened with your kid that you need, have an emergency or a field trip or just we need to be together, you're in a position to be like, okay, well, that's what we're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to ask you, is that like the freedom you're speaking to? Because, you
Yeah.
know, a lot of people unfortunately start businesses thinking it's just going to be easy and I'll wake up late. No, most entrepreneurs I know, they wake up early, they go to sleep late, they're working on a weekend, so way more than they ever had to do for
Right.
another company. But that time put in allows them to have the freedom to, if I'm going to go on vacation, I'm going to go on vacation. I have to ask somebody.
Yeah.
There's a field trip, I'm going to be present. I'm going to be there in that moment.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing. It is again, I say I know anyone who's going into it, like Yetta said, it was not easy but worth it. So that means it had to be scary. And it had to be times like, is this what I really want to do? Is this
It's
really the
definitely scary. Yeah, and because I've never had a business. Like
plan?
it's like learning from like scratch. Like,
Hmm.
and even getting into the mindset of an entrepreneur. Like I've always just worked for people. It's a whole different mindset as an entrepreneur. So like even that has been a challenge for me. Like it's a shift
Yeah.
you have to make, and
And the
What would
school
you say that
system.
mental shift is?
it's like thinking like a business owner. Like even I had like a social media she was helping me with social media and stuff, and she was like, so what are your goals for quarter 1, quarter 2s? And I never thought about that working for like I didn't have quarter 1, quarter 2
You
goals.
went to work like
Like
9 at 4:30.
oh, you so right. Like I should have like she's like, we're nearing the end of quarter 1, like what's your goal? Like I just never thought about stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like we're running a business. I never did it. So it's like I don't know. It's been different challenges, but and just having to step out of my comfort zone because I'm someone that likes to usually be in the background, kind of shy. But like with real estate, I'm the brand. Like it's
Yeah.
my, it's like I have to be out there. And so that's been a challenge for me. Putting myself out there, putting myself on camera, doing reels and like
Yeah.
what? Like I
I've
don't
seen your reels and they are
like
fun.
what?
Okay. I'm
Like
like, teach
that's
me.
that's been a challenge for me, like getting
Yeah.
out of my head,
Mm-hmm.
like because I like anytime like I've been here, like I've been holding myself back, because like I just happen to get out of my comfort zone, and that's been challenging. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Too
And
hard.
like you said, it's really what you're gonna put into it that's going to make your revenue, increase.
And then just being like I have to be like outgoing, and that's not my normal setting. Like being outgoing and networking and like being, it's almost like an alter ego kind of like that I have to create until it
Mm-hmm.
becomes but I do feel like it's like a different part of me
Mm-hmm.
that I'm learning.
Maybe you should name it. Maybe you
Yeah.
should name your alter ego. Like, all right, so now I'm putting on. I'm gonna say Sasha because that's the only thing I can think of.
Right, Sasha Fierce.
But I'm about to put on Sasha, and Sasha about
Yeah.
to go out here and wow them. So maybe think of like what you like to
Or
say.
whatever your club name was back in the day. That's who it is.
And then even just trying to build the business, I'm having to build from like build clientele, and that's been hard because I'm impatient. So when things don't like work out quickly, or like I'm like, man, this ain't working, I give up, but like having to just like stick with it, like okay, like you can do this, or like you can do hard things, like it's
Yeah,
hard, everything associated, but like you can do hard things, like just having like that mind, like it's literally just mental. It's all mental. That's
yeah.
been the biggest challenge for me, like my mindset and stuff.
I would say I've heard most entrepreneurs say something similar to that. Like they would listen to ebooks and read books, and they're still doing it because that was the biggest thing, like changing the mindset.
Yeah,
Whatever your mindset was to wherever it needs to go for you to excel. Like you said, I love that. I can do hard things. Yeah, I can do hard things.
yeah.
And it's dope that like no matter if things aren't moving fast enough, you haven't given up.
Well,
Man,
as long as you're moving
I'm,
and you're moving in a forward progression, that's always a good thing, because eventually, you're gonna get over that hump or that slow spot, because everybody does. And I can understand when you said that, you have to shift in your mind, because if you think about the school system in itself, is it preps
yeah,
majority of people to work for others. That's why they don't teach entrepreneurship, they don't teach about money or anything like that, and go to school, get an education so you can do these different things so that you can
Absolutely.
work for someone else. Where some of the people who come from families that own businesses, they get that from home, so their mindset is totally different. So like when they're going to school, they're just going to school to get education or
Right.
whatever that degree is, because their ticket is already written. So when you look at, you've been indoctrinated with this thing for such a long time, it's not going to be overnight. It's definitely,
Exactly.
I think, a lot of mantras, praying, and just like, no, I got to change my mind, from here and listening to other people's stories. But I want to ask you this, um, because this is one thing that a lot of people probably don't think about when they're starting their own business and stuff. So about healthcare, what do you do now for healthcare?
for healthcare. So we have well, my daughter, she has teen care.
Okay.
She had it even when I was working. Like it was her secondary
Okay.
insurance. So it just went to her primary.
Right.
And then when I left my job, I had a medical card, like a HSA, Health,
Okay.
and I had a lot of money on there. So
Okay.
I be using that.
That's
Yeah, because a lot of times some people, that could be something that keeps them from leaving, especially, let's just say, like if you have a child that special needs, or you have health issues or
Yeah,
problems, because there's always, I think, different things that kind of get you out of that, or like, what if this is a slow month or whatever, but my bills are still due, but my overhead is more this month
yeah,
than previous. So I get depending on what is your business, but everybody have times where it's going to
Right.
be up and down. It's not always consistent. And I was just thinking like, well, what do you like? I'm pretty sure the fear is real because I can understand like, well, we gotta take some time off and my check will be short. Like,
I know.
so what I'm doing, like, okay, I gotta shift some stuff around, but I know, the next check is gonna be a regular check, and it gives you some financial security when you clocking in and clocking out.
Right.
It's
Um,
financial security, but that
Yeah.
freedom waiting on that PTO slip to be approved. And even if you say it's for prepare the others, but I need to be prepared for a write up when I get back. Like you don't have to worry about that whole dynamic, that piece or someone. I mean, manager's job or to manage you, but some people overmanage. Let's just say that. So you don't have to. That's one thing you don't have to contend with. And something Renee definitely said about one um one month being better than the other. Would you say that, like, do you try to, like, quote unquote live below your means, so therefore you make a certain amount, you put a certain amount to the side, um
Mm-hmm.
and therefore if something happens you'll make up for it in the end? Or is it like, how do you kind of manage that piece?
Living below my means is always my uncle told me that a long time ago. Growing up, you always live below your means. Like not
Yeah.
you living at your means. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's
Because when the means run out,
always told me to
I
live below your
understand.
means. So
Yeah.
I'm always you know,
Listen, I believe in that. Like, I need to
yeah,
be able to save some money up, and if
yeah,
something happens, I need to be ready. Like,
yeah. Like I
they
pay
said,
my
they
car.
indoctrinate us to not only live at means, but above means. It's like, well, if you can pay for it, no, 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 no. Just because I can pay for it, don't mean I can afford it. I might be
guess
able
what?
to pay
This
for
what
it
this is what I gonna say.
today. I
You
can't
can
pay for
pay
it next
on
month.
it, put it on a card because this is probably like the only country on the planet that has figured out some type of way, as I say, it's the American way to profit off of people's debt. Where other countries, if you in debt, ain't nobody touching none of that. Like you in the hole.
I
Like
had
you got to get up out the hole. Like it's for real money that they make money off of, not I owe you money.
I had
Right.
a coworker who moved here. This is kind of like a squirrel moment, like off the topic. But I had a coworker who I worked with here when I moved to Atlanta. He was talking about how he had just moved to the U.S. From Eritrea, and he went to Macy's to buy something, and they offered him a card, and he was like, "No, but I have the money now." And they're like, "Oh, but you don't have to worry about paying for it." And he could not get the idea because he's like, "But I have the money."
Right.
He was like, I'm just like, but why do I need to get this card if I have the money? And as Renee said, it's so indoctrinated into us that the idea of living below your means, that don't mean you living in squalor. It just means I know that I could go ahead and I can buy this and I can, but why
Mm-hmm.
would I do that when I want to make sure I'm in a position that if there's an emergency or there's something that I really want to spend the money on, I have it and I don't have to go and use a card. Now, mind you, I do have credit cards and I use them.
Yeah.
Do better with it.
Same.
But
Same.
just in general, having that, I think that is a great mindset to have because you can live below your means and be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
That just
Mm-hmm.
means, yes, there's certain things that you can get qualified for that you could purchase, but you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
no, I would take
Warren
that's
Buffett
a
is
million
one of them.
dollar house. Exactly. I will drive this Nissan
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I will have my money sitting on the side and stacking.
Girl, I've had my car forever just because I don't want no car note. Like
Child, trust me, when I had to get a car note, I was sickly,
literally,
sickly,
the wheels run
sickly.
all on.
Because my plan was that was going to be Corey's car. It was just like,
Mhm.
okay, this is a good car. I wasn't going to have to buy nothing. I was going to get me something else. So I knew that was on the horizon. But then when they said, oh, it was flames coming from it, it was just like
Plane.
my plan. It was the car caught on fire, girl. So I mean,
Talk
like the
about riding till the
plan
wheels fall off.
literally went up in a puff of smoke.
Your
I was
car
like,
said,
this ain't
that'll
nothing but
do
the
it.
devil.
That's about it for me.
This ain't nothing
We got
but the devil.
How long did you have your car though?
I got the car in 2004, and It quit on me 2019.
Yeah. See, I got
I
mine
mean,
in
that's a
So
win-win.
19 years.
I got
Like,
mine in '09.
see, that is a win-win. Your car did his job.
No, it didn't, because it had another job to do.
You were like, no,
Every
wait,
time I see somebody with a
let me
car
do
that was just like
the
mine, I was like,
contract.
see there.
See, that's why you gonna say, no, ma'am, I can't do this no more. We're gonna have to blow up because if I don't blow up, she gonna keep me going.
Right.
It's time to take me out the
Right.
game.
Well, I had asked Yetta in the just to give some attention to our listeners. I asked her, was like, how did you balance your life earlier on with the family and starting a business? Because I know at that point, her kids were smaller, younger, under the age of 18. Now everybody grown. And then she was like, balance. The kids definitely has been a secretary, photographer, advertising, marketing, etc. And there was a time that it took a toll in my marriage and mama duties because my business became my baby. So I dedicated a lot of time and energy. And again, it's been worth it. Balance is very important. And I can honestly say probably having a good mate as well, because sometimes, people they can't,
And I ain't had
you
to work.
know, yes. And then I asked, has it gotten better since the kids are older now? She said now that they're older, they have each started their own businesses as well as working and going to school. And I think that's also great in itself, because they saw her, because
Mhm.
they was older enough. They wasn't like little tiny children, but they was older to see like, hey, guess what? If she can do it, I can do it. But you see what goes into it. So I think it creates that next generation
Yeah.
of entrepreneurs and business owners and things of that nature. Now, granted, some people, depending on what you want to do, you definitely may end up working more for someone. Let's say, like, if you go into the medical field, you want to be a nurse or whatever. Now, granted, you can do contract work and you can do that, but still just getting experience. Sometimes it's that same thing like with a physician. They do start their own businesses, but sometimes because they don't,
Yeah.
so much of focus is put on one thing, it still may take some time before you open up that business. So
Right, because you have to get that practice.
Yeah. See how it's
yeah,
run, see how they run the business, all that.
Yeah.
yeah, and running a business is not for everyone.
Right.
That part I do know that that's not everybody's goal or everything that they want to do, because they understand it's so much of other stuff. And sometimes some people, they know that's not my forte. Like, I rather just do this one thing and then come on back or whatever, which is great. Um,
Yeah.
Erica, I have a question. Kind of piggybacking off what Renee said. What Yetta said. Do you, because Jada comes with you to the houses to help you set up and do pictures? Does she talk about business ideas for herself? Like, what do you hear her conversation?
So Jada had a business
She
selling
did.
body butters and stuff even before I had.
Yeah.
So she definitely wants to be an entrepreneur, but she's a creative, so
Yeah.
she all over the place. It's a lot she want to do, but she wants to build her own
I
business, her
understand.
own
I
brand.
understand that it's a lot that I want to
Yeah.
do.
So she wants to build her own brand, her
Hmm.
own business. She does. And so that's what I love. I love that like she's right there with me and like build, I feel like she's literally building with me. Like
She is.
editing videos, she takes
Mhm.
pictures, she does all that stuff.
And the great thing is that she'll be able to learn.
Yeah.
She'll be able to apply certain things with her business. And even like how you said with the mindset, she may not be up late at night with you doing certain things, but
Right.
she knows like, okay, this is what it takes.
Yeah. She sees me like she sees me building something.
Exactly.
And I
Exactly. Because some people are like, I want to build a business. And it's like, you don't know the work.
yeah.
It's not just, well, I'm gonna wake up and all right, let me make my $100,000 sales today. And
I know.
and I think a lot of times people, they do think that it's truly is overnight success, because this is when you first learn of this person
right,
once they have blown up. But as to say, you have like some people, they knew before all of this, and they knew it's just like, look, I had gave up on this person 45,000 times, you know, and I got back on board and stuff because they have been there through the entire process. It kind of reminds me of the song Mystical, the rapper. He was like 11 years, 14 years, and it was just like it took him 14 years before, you know, everybody ended up knowing who he was. Whereas it's like, you just found out about me 14 minutes ago, but I've been in the studio, I've been working, I've been doing this for quite some time. And I think for most people it takes that time for stuff to transpire, and before everybody knows you and stuff like that. So persistence, I definitely would say that's pretty much what everybody, you know, you definitely have to be persistent and just not give up on yourself. And I think that's just for whatever it is that you're trying to pursue.
Yeah. And consistency, you know.
Yes.
Discipline, that's been a struggle for me. That's a challenge for me. Like sticking with things, like being consistent. Like right now, I haven't even posted on social media for weeks because I just needed a break. You know, like being consistent, having that discipline, like literally having to create a schedule for myself because like I didn't have a schedule, so I was just kind of in the beginning, just kind of like just doing whatever, like
Winging it.
yeah. So like it's like okay, we need a time block. That's what they tell us. They need a time block. Like okay, during this time I'm gonna do this. You know, from 7 to 8, I'm gonna get up, do my morning routine. From 8 to 10, I'm gonna make calls. From 10, you know, like still putting yourself on that schedule to stay consistent and be like disciplined.
That makes complete sense because there's so many times I say today I'm gonna do all this and I look up, it's 3 o'clock and it's like, well, anybody else, I can maybe call 2 people,
Right.
one appointment and make one appointment at this point because they're getting ready to close, or this is the time that they really don't start answering phone calls and stuff.
Yep.
So that makes sense because your time, the day goes by. I swear I got off Saturday morning. I was like, dang, the weekend already over. Because I had thought about everything I needed to do, and then I don't think I did much on Saturday. So I was tired. But the day goes by so quickly.
Especially when you like are free, like you like it's nothing. So it's like it just goes.
There's no supervisor
Yes.
that's monitoring your time. So
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
if you
Nobody
don't
say, hey,
get
Erica, did you make those
done,
calls yet? Hey, Erica, did you make that file yet? Like nobody's doing it.
Right.
and you have deadlines to meet. And so, and I guess that's kind of like the plus and the minus part of it, because you don't have to feel that pressure, but you have to put the pressure on yourself, because
Right.
if you don't do it, no, the only person that is hurting is you, because your consistency and what you're putting out turns into dollars, which turn into
Right.
your livelihood in order to make your household run and stuff. And so I can only just imagine. So I guess, you know, you still have those job stresses, but it's just it's coming from a different point.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, I ain't gotta worry about no jacked up supervisor. But guess what? My jacked up supervisor gonna make sure it's there, and as long as I'm clocking in, this check go come. But it's like when it's
shift, right? Because it's like having to keep yourself on test. Like if I don't do the work, I don't get no money. But like at work, I mean, you know, I can do it. That money coming in every 2 weeks, you know, like regardless. So that's part of the mindset shift too. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, they said accountability is everything. So it's procrastination. Do it tomorrow.
Yeah, so you can't be like that's true, because at a 9 to 5, you're like, you know what? I'll be productive tomorrow.
Right.
And you'll still get paid for that day.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, you be like, I'll be productive. That's a day. That could be a day of money that you could have made, and now you didn't make it, and now you're trying to make the money you could have made yesterday today.
Yep.
You know, wow.
That's a lot.
I had someone once tell me, and I think it's true. It's probably very true for entrepreneurs. It wasn't about that. It was actually about training and eating right, and exercising. But what she told me was sometimes you have to mother yourself. And like as a mother, you like, it's 8 o'clock. Like I had an 8 o'clock bedtime, y'all. It's so funny because my mama tells the story that I couldn't tell time, but my bedtime was 8 o'clock. So it didn't matter what time. you asked me, what time is it, Myochi? It was going to be 8 o'clock because that's the only time I do. But as a mother, my mom would be like, okay, it's time to go to bed. Oh, well, first, time to brush your teeth, take a shower. You know, it's time to go to bed. It's time to get up. And it's like, I'm kind of connecting it like as being an entrepreneur. So now she was like, so you have to tell you, okay, now it's time to get on the treadmill. Now it's time to food prep, you know, and it's like you're gonna have to mother yourself. So in
Yep.
that it's like you have to literally manage, supervise yourself to make sure you're getting those things done.
Yep.
And I think not just being the mom and entrepreneur, I think sometimes it's just still just being the mom in itself, because you're doing these things that your mom did for you to your child and making sure, guess what, you're doing these different things. And then you get tired, so you get them settled down. And a lot of times it's stuff that you ain't even do for yourself. Like, did you brush your teeth before
Right.
you went to
Did you
bed?
take a
I can't. I would tell you this. It'd be plenty of times I don't even think nothing of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
just like I'm just trying to hurry up and get in this bed and get to sleep. Because when you was like 8 o'clock, go to bed, baby, I wish.
Well, that was a long time ago.
I
Now,
don't know, but I'm just talking about now. I wish somebody would like go to bed. It's 8 o'clock. Go to bed.
listen,
It's
listen.
so
It's past your bedtime. I can't stay up and finish this work. No. Okay.
it's like now I can stay up as long as I want to, do whatever it is that I want to. So this adulting thing, sometimes it can be very daunting because you almost do need that. And I think some of those people, as I say, that I definitely do know and believe that success is directly proportional to discipline,
Mm-hmm.
because you definitely, it's going to be hard to be all over the place and still be successful. If so, you can be all over the place, but you definitely going to have an organized team to be
Mm-hmm.
able
To do
to
those.
organize your day. But just you by yourself, I mm-mm. I just it's hard to see that, because how can you focus on one thing?
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's been one of
Yes.
those challenges too. I've had a lot of challenges along along the way.
So I have a question, and really both of you can answer this question. You know, what would be your definition, your idea of mom? What was it and what is it now? Like, this is what I thought it was, and this is what now I find that it is.
Mm.
I thought a lot about that question. I think initially when I thought about, okay, what is a mother? Definitely like a dictator, because coming up, it was just like, but why? Cause I said so, and that was the end of it. So it was just like, when you think about it in terms of true dictatorship, it was just like, don't ask no question, you just do. And then you realize, like, hey, it is so much more than that. But I understand why you tell your kids, because I said so, because you don't have the time really to sit down and explain to them. And it is so far above their little head that they can comprehend. You don't have time. And it's just better to be like, get on out my face, shut up, do what I said, do. And it's just like, because I can't tell you how many times I told Corey, why is your mouth moving? Because what I told you to do didn't require talking. And it's just like, go on. And it's, sometimes it's just like, oh, I wish I wouldn't be like that. But it's like, you have to, because otherwise you got to get stuff done. And when you don't have no nanny, somebody else, you
Nanny.
know, yeah, because I'm hats out to them people, because they don't have to deal with their children on 24 hours a day. And I don't think like they really have to think about, guess what, I'm hungry, but I already know what I want to eat, they don't want to eat, and I don't want to cook 2 meals a day, or I gotta figure out whatever something is. So I definitely think like what I thought mothering was, into what it is, it was like day and night.
Mm.
It's because you know, it's kind of just like if you in management, you don't know all what's going on in the background until you become a manager. You just know you're a worker and stuff ain't working right, or it is working right.
Yeah.
So it's like once you become a parent, it's like, this is what this thing is and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
sometimes I used to go back and was like, Mom, I'm sorry. What you sorry for? Just know I'm sorry, because it's like I ain't gonna tell her what I'm sorry for, because I don't know, might mess around, put me on punishment. I'm grown. But it's definitely something different than what I thought.
I would say I thought the same. Um, yeah, just kind of providing, disciplinary, like, but it's so much more. Like I think of myself now as like a guide for her, not a dictator, but like I'm just here alongside her. She's living her own life and making like, but I'm like a guide. Like I advise her, and give her my wisdom and stuff. But it's not my life; it's hers. So
Mhm.
I'm more of a just alongside her, like helping to guide her through. Like that's how I see myself now.
How was it? How were you able to come to that point? Because I think that's something that's very hard for a lot of parents, where it's like, this is not my life, it's yours. It's like, this is the thing that I want for you, which I get, because as a parent, you
Yeah,
do want great things for your child, and you see certain things in them that you can see that they
right.
do, and if you don't want it, having to be able to back off. So, like, how do you feel that, I guess, and this came up in my mind just now, like being an entrepreneur helped you because you were in a different mindset when it came to like, well, this is her life.
Um, I feel like I came to that like a couple years ago. I started thinking about it that way as a parent. Because I feel like as children, we kind of know what we want to do in life and stuff, and then we kind of lose it because like we're being told like you should do this, you should do
Yeah.
that. But I feel like when we're younger, like instinctual, like we know, and so like I don't want her to lose that
Yeah.
because I feel like I don't know, I lost that. And I feel like a lot of adults lose that because,
Yeah.
we
I
just
agree.
in society, like, okay, this is what I should do. But I don't want her to lose that. So that's when I like kind of shifted.
Mhm.
Because it's like, it's her life. Like, of course, I'm going to advise her and be like, I don't think that's right. Or like, even when it comes to like dating, like, I'll be like, I don't like that guy. But I don't ever tell her, stop dating him. Or
Yeah,
like, don't
because then you already know that's
you
gonna end up
gotta,
in your son-in-law.
I let
They
her
ain't gonna
figure
never
it
do
out,
it. They ain't gonna
you
never
know?
stop.
It's like, yeah, like, I don't know. So it was just kind of, that's when it kind of shifted for me. Like, I don't want her to
Yeah.
lose that.
I think that's important, because a
Yeah, and
lot of people are in our age and above who are searching for that voice and what am
Yeah,
I supposed to do, and it's because that voice and that knowing has
yes,
been shut down and quieted.
yeah. And I feel like I'm just now starting to tap back into it, like at 40. Like in my 40s, like, what is it that I want to do? Or, like I lost it.
Hmm.
Like, and even I had her at 23. So all of my focus has been on Jada, like this whole time. Like there's
Yeah.
been no focus on me. So now I think that's part of like why I'm on this journey and stuff too, because I'm finally like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Like what do I like? Like what do I really want? What do I want? What do I want my life to look like? And now that she's getting older, I feel like it's a little easier for me to like, okay, now the focus is back on let's bring it back a little bit. Like let me reclaim my time.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
reclaiming my
So I think
time.
that's why I'm at this point too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
trying to get back to like
You
finding
you
myself.
hit on like some good points and stuff, because I think with certain things, when you said about with a relationship, like you've been in enough of relationships and you just kind of know it gotta play itself out,
Yeah.
especially if you know you want it to end. And it's like if the least amount of resistance, the quicker that it will end.
Let me tell
Um,
you. Don't date him. What's they gonna do? Push her straight to
Exactly.
Find
Like that's
out.
why I said that little boy he gonna end up being your son-in-law. Like if you don't like
right,
everybody it's me and you against the world. Now they want to be ride or
right,
die. And then it's like, years later, why nobody ain't tell me? You don't remember when I jacked you up over there in the corner? It was like, leave that little boy alone. No, I didn't hear you say that. Like that's all I was saying. But when you said like your voice and stuff is kind of silence because you do become a parent, and I think sometimes because parents you have knowledge that your child does not know, and it's almost just kind of like I want to put like bowling. I want to put the guardrails up so you don't veer off. Now you might bump the sides or whatever, but I want you to stay there where there is a lesson in going in the gutter. You come out on the other side and then you can try it again. But there's a physicist or whatever, Neil deGrasse. He said that with his children, you see them, they're about to grab the cup and they're going to spill it. He said, but as parents, you quick to be like, wait a minute, let me get this. He was like, what is it going to hurt for them to spill it? He was
right,
like, they're going to learn something in that. So if you let some things, and he was just like, some things you can't, he was like, you just can't let them just do
right.
whatever. Now he was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
adamant
of
about
course.
that. But he was like, especially when they're young, he was like, they're in exploration mode. This is a whole new world to them. They don't know how stuff works. They don't know that, guess what? If I literally flip this cup
Right,
upside down, what's in it is going to come out. He said, and do you not know there are so many people in this world, they ain't never spilled nothing.
Hmm.
And
mm,
it's just like,
And
and
they're
it's not
probably full
until
of
you
anxiety and fear because
yeah,
they don't want to space. Since I've
yeah.
never spilled, now I really don't want to because it's
And
the
when you
end
do
of the
spill,
world.
it's the end of the world. When you do spill,
yes, and if you do, it's just you got everybody in the house. Now, why you do that? And this costs this amount of money and stuff like that. And I don't know if y'all seen that little video where this little girl, like the mom,
I
show her with
posted
the
that.
drink, and like she pouring it, and then she just let her do it, and like, but you can really see like this little girl is trying to figure it out. It's like
Right.
I've seen these big people in this house a million thousand times pour stuff in here. Ain't none of her get on this cup. And then
And
at
she
one
was
point
so
she looked
calm.
like it's on the floor. Like, how
But
did it
as
get
soon as they come in her cup, she like, okay. So, it was funny. So like
yes.
you said, you have people responding if you go to comments because I saw that one and she did one with like a light, I guess grape juice. Then she did one with a dark one. I don't know why. I guess people freaked out more with the dark one because it's stained. But the comments, people are like, "Oh my god, the stress." Watching her do it. So, like you said, it's like even watching somebody else waste their money and trying to pour something in a cup, it completely stress people out just watching it. And I think that does speak to that mindset of
It
it
was the
is
forbidden thing to
okay.
do.
Like
Don't you
literally, if
spill
you turn
nothing.
over this jug and everything comes out, everything will be fine. But people talk about, oh my God, the stress. Look, all that money down the drain. She don't know what she's doing. Why? And it's like, y'all, it's a bottle of grape juice.
And honestly, like if it was just that big a deal, like the mother, like because some people they don't have no money to be wasting nothing. If that was the case, guess what? She would have
It
never
never
gave
would
the
have happened.
child that juice to start off with to pour it. And as far as we know, it could have been water with food coloring in it, and they had already drunk up the Welch's grape juice. Because at first time I was like, oh wait, they drinking the good juice, and she just letting her just spill it, but when I thought back on to what he was saying, a lot of times we as parents we silence the creativity, we silence the science or the wanting to know how things work and stuff, because it's like don't touch that, don't do that. It was like, no, I'm not gonna let my child touch it on hot stove because like that it's
right,
not worth that lesson.
right.
So he wasn't just saying, well, let them do any and everything. Like you ain't sticking that fork over there in that socket
In
because
that
I already
socket.
know this a one-way trip to glory. like, we definitely not doing that. But you can like silence them because
Mhm.
they don't know. And me and my son, we was having a conversation about, his ex-girlfriend and stuff. And he was just like, well, mama, I was like, it had to play itself out. I said it did. I said, that's why I didn't pressure you or whatever. And I was like, you right on track. It take black folks good year just to break up. And
Right.
round about 11.5 months, it's over.
We were like, we've been
He,
breaking up for a long time. We've been,
he
we've
right
been
on
on this
track.
trajectory.
Girl, it's in our DNA. You just can't be just done with a words. So
Double back a few times.
yeah, but just like I told him, I said, how would you know what you want and what you don't want and what you're willing to stand for had you not went through those things? I said, it's all right.
Yep.
I said,
You
it's
gonna be all
absolutely
right.
yes. So it is hard because you have that knowledge,
Yeah.
the foresight, and you don't been there, and you don't want them to walk in certain places where you walked and in your shoes in in certain instances. So it's hard, but I think you just can't be one of those people just hands out where just let them live their life. Guess what? Then your child list ain't gonna be nothing. Like
Right.
you still have to rear them.
Yeah.
And
There
nurture.
has to be
And I
some
like
type
what
of
Erica said about
accountability.
guiding, like being
Yeah.
that guide. A guide doesn't mean you just walking hand in hand to the fire. It means I'm gonna guide you. Hey, there's a rock right there.
Yeah.
There's a
Like
step up.
watch out for that.
Yeah,
Like
look at
watch
that
out
bridge.
for that.
You gotta step
I wouldn't
up.
go there if I was you, but hey, like
Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually they get tired of hearing, I told you.
right.
I told you. Because one thing about it is, as being a parent, you do have to get I think some pullback, which is like, you know what, you go do it anyway. So guess what? But I'm gonna be right here as soon as
What?
mama, you know what happened. Oh, I already know. And I'm going in. I'm going in. I'm going all the way into the dome. Like, guess what? But because you love me and you know I got your back, I'm the first person you want to come and tell. And guess what? You still go come and tell me until you just be like, you know what? I've been just trying to do right with this life that God gave me because my mama read it. Her mouth already said, see that I told you.
Oh, just so.
And I just had it. I'm disappointed, disgusted, and I'm mad at you. All that was, see that I told you. I told you. I had one of them conversations that night with him. I sounded just so disappointed. So,
Yeah.
it's been tension in the house all day.
Yeah. It was when he was like, that's so and so mama.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, a good woman slash mother is a superhero with or without and outside support. There is no guy or reality parenting. You hang in there and ride the waves and listen and be there when you are in disagreement. Yeah. And yeah, she also said, I came in with all hell breaks loose. Like, yeah, I told you so. I already know she's channeling her daddy's spirit. Be like, man, I was waiting on this. I've been waiting. I done rehearsed this thing up in my head 50 times. Like, oh, yes, this is my moment. This is my
Nope.
Erica, I have one final question for you. What advice would you give really to anyone who's an entrepreneur or thinking about stepping into entrepreneurship? And specifically to any mom that's thinking about doing that. For those who's listening, if you can see her face, that is what I'm saying.
like, I don't know what let me think
Where did this
about this
question
before
come
I
from?
just give it off.
I know.
Straight no chaser.
Man. Advice.
Like something you wish somebody would have told you, maybe.
Uh to a mom that's thinking about starting
Yeah.
on the entrepreneur journey.
Yeah.
I would say this is what they always tell me. Come up with your why. Think about like why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And always have that, like post it somewhere if you have to. But really think about your why and go deep. Like when you think you're going deep, go deeper. Like, what is your why? Why do you want to do this? And like, because that's what's gonna keep you. Like you always have to remind yourself because it's really hard. So I would say that. Go
I
deep.
definitely
Like
love
why?
that once you go deep, go deeper.
Go deeper.
Yeah.
Even deeper.
Like how kids are. They say why? You ask the question, but why?
Yeah. Like keep
But
going.
why?
That's what my coach, I got a real estate coach. And
Mhm.
he be getting on my nerves, but I know he be like, it be right. But he be
Yeah.
like, why? And then I'll be like, so and so. And he'd be like, because he'd be like, why you want freedom?
Mm.
And I'm like, because, like I want financial freedom, wealth, blah, blah, blah. He like, why?
Mhm.
And then I'd be like, because so and so. And he'd be like, why? Like, and it just be going deeper and deeper. And it's like, get down to like, even get down to childhood stuff, like, because,
Therapy.
yeah, like money, you can have a thing with money and all that stuff. But just think about like your why. Like really go deep with like why you want to do it. Because you're gonna have to revisit that to stay with it. Because it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
So you have to remind yourself, like, why am I doing this?
And that's good. I mean, I'm thinking now because not like me just being in school right now, like trying to figure out what's the next step. And I'm like, yeah, I probably need to ask myself why. So why do you want to do that?
You don't remember that
Not
video?
just about having money. Like for me, freedom is peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you don't remember in the video when we was thinking about this podcast and was like, you got to think about your why. Why do you want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And all of that. And so when she said it was like, I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that's applicable for everybody.
My goal is that I just want peace.
Yeah.
And to me, freedom, having financial freedom and all that freedom brings me peace.
Yeah.
Freedom of your time.
Yeah, freedom of my time, all that. And I just want a peaceful life.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Erika, tell the people how can they get in contact with you? Like where are you?
Follow me. I'm on IG, TikTok, Facebook. I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn, but like I'm not on there as much. I have to tap into LinkedIn. I've been told since I'm in real estate and stuff, but I need to really tap into that. But my main things are Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
And
And then,
I'm sorry. I was gonna say you're located in Tennessee. So
yes,
if anyone's looking for a house in Tennessee, hit her up. Email, social media. I told y'all her reels are around, so y'all need to follow her.
Right. You can subscribe to my newsletter.
Yes.
And I don't send out a lot. I just send out once a month. I don't flood your timeline. I mean your inbox. Just once a month. I think they're pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can subscribe on my website. You can set up a consultation on my website. Like anything you need is on my website.
And for the listeners, can you tell them where they would go?
For the website?
Well, for the listeners, because they can't see what we're posting.
Oh, yes. Erika Freeman. ERIKA. It's Erika with a K. FREEMAN.com.
Yes. Follow her, people. Follow her.
Yay. This is a great conversation, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for being here with us.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much. I've completely enjoyed it. It definitely, like Renee said, it brought up some things that, although I know or have heard it, sometimes you need to hear things again because you have a seed planted and it's watered, but it needed some more water or it needed to be put in the light. Let's help this seed continue to grow. So definitely gave some good tips, and we just completely appreciate your time and being a part of the 40 spot today with us. Um, Renee, hit up Erika when you ready to buy your house. Everybody else in
I'm
Tennessee
ready.
when you ready. Because you can do all of Tennessee. She travels. She have a car that's still working.
Right.
And still work over 200,000 miles, but we rolling.
Listen, it has not blown up. So it is doing the job.
I do not want no car. No.
I know, right?
Maybe both. I'm like, Lord, just let it last a little bit longer. Mine is a 2011, so I got a little bit more time on that.
You got a lot more. Don't say a little bit, say a lot more.
A
Yeah.
lot more, a lot more, a lot more. Yes, 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 God. Yes, God.
I remember I used to say when I first got my car, I was like, if I could just get it to 200K, and my auntie stopped me. She was like, stop saying 200K miles. Like, if it can go further, you want it to go further. Like,
Mhm.
I'd be dang if that car ain't at 220 some thousand. But she was like, don't limit it.
Don't no limit. It's like no limit soldiers. Don't limit it. You're doing a good
Okay.
job.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, Erika, thank you so much again for joining us. I hope Erika is like, I just want to put this out there. Erika is like one of our top viewers. So her just coming on with us has been such a pleasure. She always gives great feedback in the comments. So we're like, for sure, please, please, please join us. So we so appreciate you joining us today on this side of things. So stepping out of your box, we appreciate
Yes.
you doing that. And we just hope that you have a good week. And thank you so, so very much. And tell Miss Jada I said hello.
Will do. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Man, that was such a great conversation.
Yes, it was. It was. Um, we're definitely going to have her back on just to talk about real estate,
Yeah,
buying a home, like getting to like for real, like her business, because that is where the generational wealth can definitely
Mhm.
accrue
Oh, a crew.
accrue
Okay.
for a lot of our listeners and different people. So we
Like I said,
definitely.
we talked about doing like a financial episode.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it,
Absolutely.
like you said, real estate is a big piece. Real estate.
Yes. And like I said, we got Yetta in the that's listening. She's a business owner. She does these medical massages and stuff like that, which some people may not even just know like the health benefits from those things. So, we definitely gonna have to do something else with healthcare, self-care and stuff in, those type of things, like certain specific things that it definitely going to be beneficial. So we have a lot of people that's doing a lot of stuff. As I say, based off of statistics, we probably know even more people
Exactly.
that have small businesses or in the process of starting one.
And it'll be awesome to have her on because, like we said at the beginning, like we want this to be a community thing. Like, it's a
Absolutely.
40 spot where we can come together, learn, and grow together. And so to be able to bring on people who are faithful listeners, even if you're not faithful, but
Yes.
she is, but people who come on, like this is a community. And so for
Mhm.
her to be able to come on and talk about what she does and the benefits, I think that's a great idea. That's a real good idea. But now we're going to move into our birthday people.
Yes.
Today's May 1st.
Yes.
So, who your birthday people?
Yes, we have actually her birthday is today. She is a fellow podcasters, the Winner's Circle podcast. Miss Tamika, one of my cousins. She's not quite 40. She's a realtor. She's on Mom Mature. Nataria, she's coming up, and one of my cousins who is one of my sounding boards, Roz, and one of my bestest in the world, Nikki, and Zetta. So she is having a birthday this month, and one of my classmates, Kevin, he is a health wellness, new business owner as well. We definitely gonna have to get him on talking about these fupas and these flaps and stuff out. So I would definitely like to wish them a very, very happy birthday.
Well, I have a few people. First on my list is Miss Audrey, my line sister, my soror, my back. Her birthday is in a couple days, and then my cousin Alyssa, her birthday is in a couple days, and then me, my birthday is May 12th, and it's gonna be here before we get back together. So we celebrate me today too, honey.
Oh,
So
girl.
happy birthday to me. I'm
Girl,
one
this
like.
is just gonna be a year
Hey,
since we was down there at the Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. We was in a Puerto Rico. Yes,
I
it's coming up
know.
on a year, honey. And I need a beach. Won't see a beach this year, but that's fine. I'll find something hopefully comparable to that experience. Well, it probably won't be comparable to that experience. I ain't gonna even lie. But I'm gonna do something to celebrate my birthday. Hopefully I can come back with a story or two from that birthday. But again, just happy birthday to everybody from the 40 spot. We would love to give people shout outs for birthdays. So please just email us at the40spot, the40spot at gmail.com so that we can give you shout outs for your birthday. It's a celebration, and you don't have to be 40 for us to give you a shout out. We just want to celebrate life together. So please do that. Also, follow us. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, IG at the 40 spot, at the 40 spot.
And everywhere you can get your podcast too. Follow us on there. And we want to let everybody know that with Spotify, you have to listen to a whole episode to be able to rate us. But I guarantee you, any episode, you will not be disappointed. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna learn a little bit and everything. So we definitely want you to like, follow, subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification bell. So then you know when we're going live, just in case you forget or whatever. We want to let you know. Also, you can always get the replay. Also, we have another birthday that just come in to Yetta's daughter, Miss Quanisha. She's gonna be 28.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Yes. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Wow. Jesus. But yes, she's going to be 28 years old. We definitely want to celebrate her and stuff. So her birthday is tomorrow. She'll be 28 years old. So definitely to let her listen to the podcast, send it to her. It's like, girl, they was giving you shout outs from Tennessee and from Georgia. Girl, tell her to get her little friends and stuff like that. and our whole family members and stuff. Y'all gotta listen to this podcast and stuff. So we definitely thank everybody.
Yes, we thank everybody for listening. As she was saying, subscribe, like us, subscribe, share us, comment, send us emails. If you have any ideas for topics, email us at, again, the 40 spot, the40 spot at gmail.com. 2 weeks. We come on every other week. No, not, yeah. We come on every other week. So today is May 1st. Next time we will be on May 15th. It'll be 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time. We go live there. You can get us on Twitter live, Facebook, or YouTube. And again, you can always get us on a replay on all of those platforms. Or you can go to wherever you get your podcast. And like we say every week, we just thank you so much. Just want to end you with this. Make a life out of what you have, not out of what you are missing. And with that, we say, have a wonderful night. Keep loving each other. Keep going. Be consistent. And we will see you May 15th. Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.